I wonder if you could begin by telling us how and why did you think you needed to do something like create a Decibels Foundation?
Well, I had a baby who had hearing loss, and I was a parent of one of the 90% of parents who have a kid with hearing loss who had never had any experience with hearing loss. And I was completely at a loss as to how to raise my daughter. Um, I remember distinctly um, thinking, how will I tell my daughter that I love her? And how will she be able to tell me that she loves me? My wife at the time, Julia, did a great job of researching things, but it was a lot of digging up information about this individual and that individual. And hey, did you know that this thing existed? And we were constantly wrangling the information, and we felt like we missed stuff, and it was a total panic. And Bella was my daughter was my first child, so I didn't even know how to raise a kid. I didn't know which end to diaper,
Mhm.
and here I'm trying to figure out how to even talk to her. Um, and the deaf community was great to us, and the Mass Commission for the Deaf was great in sending people over, and I learned some sign language. Um, and But I had no idea if it was working or not, and I didn't know what the future held for my daughter. Um, I remember distinctly every day I would go in. I knew the sign for Daddy, and I would
Mhm.
go in and sign Daddy to Bella, and she would do nothing for months on end. And I'm like, am I even doing this right? Is the kid getting this at all? Sometimes she'd smile, but it was just as likely to be gas as it was to be that she recognized me or understood what I was doing. Um, and then one day, I think I've told you this story,
Mhm.
she looked at me. She was 9 months old. She looked at me when I walked in the room and she signed this,
Mhm.
which was either loser or it was daddy. And either way, she meant me. And that was just like heaven to me. That was rapture to actually be able to communicate. We were lucky enough that we got involved with this program called at Emerson College. And the program was great, but it was in Boston, and it was helpful. But there was nobody in my neighborhood. They were all from other parts of the state. So that's why we started the program, because one, we needed to be able to feel like we wanted parents to be able to feel like they had one source for information about who do you talk to, what do you do. We wanted to make sure parents had confidence when they found out that their kid had a hearing loss. Hey, your kid's going to be fine. I know how to get you there. Um, Everybody's kid turn is different. Everybody's problems are different, but I know how to get you the right information. I know how to get you involved with the right people. So it's going to be fine. And that calming effect alone was huge for parents, just to know that, okay, I got someone I can turn to. I may not need your information now, but I know I can go to you, and I don't have to figure it out from 100 different people. You're going to be able to help me out. And Probably the most important thing for me when we went through the Emerson program was just being able to connect at an emotional level with other parents. Changed my life. It didn't just change my life as a parent of a child with hearing loss. It changed my life as a person. I changed the way that I engaged with my friends. I changed the way that I engaged with other parents. It just changed everything for me. And we wanted to be able to give that back to other parents, for them to be able to see hearing loss, which when you hear about it feels like a curse, and have them see it as a gift, as something that's going to give them more than it took away.
Well, and so that was in 2002, 2003, right?
That was, yeah, Bella was probably 4 years old. Yeah.
Yeah. So
2002.
we came on the scene. My daughter Phoebe was born in 2011, and so we show up at the Decibels Foundation funded program at Minuteman Arc, and had the exact same experience you did, but I had the system in place. And so you're talking about the fears of a parent. I remember singing to Phoebe and holding her, my daughter Phoebe, holding her right there so she could feel me singing if she couldn't hear me. But also remember Julia was standing there, and she's the one who told me you know what she's doing, right? Phoebe's about 9 months old. And I said, what do you mean she's doing? I was just standing there. And she said, she's babbling. I said, what do you mean? She said, look at her hands. Like, look at her hands, dummy. And she was trying to sign to us. And it
Yeah.
was such a relief, and it was so powerful and so important to me to have someone there who had lived through this and who had been through this and could mentor us. It was it's incredibly valuable. And I think one of the real blessings of the Decibels Foundation.